Today we're comparing two JSE-listed retail giants head-to-head. Let's move the conversation onto the home improvement sector, touching on home appliances, TVs, electronics, and also building materials. Massmart has Game, Makro, Dion and Builders Warehouse in this arena, and ShopRite has OK Furnishers and Checkers Hyper. Now, is this where we finally see Massmart maybe gaining the edge over
Look, clearly
ShopRite?
Builders Warehouse is a major offering in this arena, and it's not really contractors that go there. It's middle-class people who want to do sort of low-end DIY tasks, home renewals, that sort of thing. It's a very strong model. It's styled on Home Depot and Lowe's out of America, and it's got great potential, and it's done very well in this country. And then add to that Dion, which is a bit of a knockoff of Best Buy, which is not doing well in the US because everyone's buying on Amazon.com. But, you know, this country still has a lot of flat-screen TVs to sell. People need computers, laptops, and phones, and all that sort of thing. So that's a very strong part of Massmart's offering, and I'm sure that is why also Walmart liked the look of them. ShopRite does have little bits of stuff there because at some of the larger ShopRite stores, and certainly at the Checkers Hypers, you can get some of the home improvement type of stuff. But this is an area where Massmart is very dominant.
Builders Warehouse, a strong brand, and firmly, if you are improving your home in any way, that's where you're going to stop.
Agreed. So it's everything from finished products, so you could buy furniture from a number of their stores, and it's not just garden furniture, you have a full range and selection. Of course, all of the necessary equipment and supplies that any contractor or somebody pottering around the house would want. Dion wired, sophisticated goods, so they have a full spectrum. Just bear in mind, 25 to 30 years ago, House & Home was a very big brand in South Africa, and they were market leaders. I think there was an opportunity for them to grow that, and it became stagnant and almost lived in a shadow of the grocery division. So I believe that there is a lot of opportunity for ShopRite Checkers to upscale operations and to really work House & Home into a number of their stores. But certainly Massmart, I think, wins this round hands down.
OK Furnishers, is the brand prevalent?
Again, I think it's a good point that Levon makes, is that because of the corporate concentration in our market, the division can actually be quite big relative to its competitors, but it attracts very little attention in the core results as they're reported. OK Furnishers, I think, is quite a sizable operation. I don't know if they're quite as big as JD Group, but they're at least as big as Ellerines and some of the others. I think it does do okay. It's obviously a credit-based retailer. There's a bit of credit offered, and they also depend on their customers getting credit from other places. The furniture category in this country doesn't seem to excite many people much. I don't know why, whether the offering is a bit tired, whether the goods themselves are not perceived to be of particularly high quality. Yes, the electronics element and televisions and hi-fis does well, but the sort of core, lounge furniture, kitchen units and beds doesn't
But just drill down into that a little further. They've both got strong electronics offerings. And again, we go back to just the ShopRite environment. Within a ShopRite, you have got those small appliances. Are we talking about bigger appliances here?
Now, I think at OK Furnishers, you'll find, stuff like larger deep freezers, fridges, flat screen televisions. I mean, that's like a category killer. That's the thing that everybody always leads with specials. And then, of course, linked DSTV decoders and that kind of thing. But I think these are all great. Whether they're or not they're having like a bad patch now because people are a little bit sort of tired in the wallet or something, that's irrelevant. Next year it'll be better. So these are positive, value accretive, excellent things for these companies.
But Massmart leading the charge now on the Builders Warehouse.
Massmart certainly has the biggest footprint. It's also got the opportunity to roll this out through Africa. And I think Checkers can probably take a leaf out of their book. ShopRite Checkers has probably got an opportunity missed. As we mentioned more than 2-3 decades ago, they had a few brands that were market leaders. OK is a brand that you recall having been very visible throughout, as well as House & Home. So certainly room for improvement there.
Malls in this country, excellent. I mean, I know some people say, look, long run retailers are maybe you got to watch because in America, people are going online and they're getting stuff there and then they're having delivered at home by the courier service. Therefore, malls are infrastructure and overhead you don't want to have. But in this country, I still think there's decades to run of physical retail being the place to go. And lest we forget, the growth story is about taking these stores into Lusaka, into Gaborone, into Luanda, into Antananarivo, into Dar es Salaam, etc. This market, relatively well developed, still plenty of potential, but that's really where it's going to happen.
You wanted to add, Levan?
If I can just include the turnaround time for replacement in terms of furniture, electronic goods, is probably a 5 to 10 year outlook depending on what you're replacing. So TVs and the like probably 4 or 5 years, maybe some of the rest of the furniture in your house 7 to 10 years. Possibly ShopRite's identified a much quicker profit model to concentrate on the grocery division. And when you look at some of the other innovative lines that ShopRite has and the concentration, it's obviously worked towards a quick turnaround on capital.
I want to quickly just look at the do a share price comparison on the graphs. So let's look at Massmart here, if we can get a wide shot on that. Paul, talk us through.
Well, Massmart is fascinating because that's the 5-year chart, and right in the middle there, where the S of Massmart is where the 148 Rand a share offer comes in from Walmart for the 50% stake. It's in fact looked very expensive for ages, and I guess it's because the shareholder base is almost entirely foreign. Apart from Massmart being owned by Walmart, all the US institutions think, okay, well, if those guys are there, I'm going there too. I don't care what the results are, I'm going to just be on their back. Whereas ShopRite has been, forced to stand on its own merits. And you can see there's again the 5-year chart. ShopRite did the best out of the whole lot, but has fallen quite significantly since then. It tracked back from about 210 Rand a share down to around 170 now. Whereas Massmart, despite its rather crummy profit performance, seems to be able to do no wrong in the eyes of its shareholders.